But I want to thank you guys for having me out here. This has been wonderful. I had a great time out here in Omaha. You know, I've been traveling around all over the place. And before today, Branson was number 1 on my list for supporting the veterans. Omaha's right up there with Branson. You guys have been incredible ever since I got here. Q&A in a little bit, so you guys can ask questions. I want to introduce some friends of mine that are here, and like Bill was saying earlier, we're going to pass around and hopefully collect some donations because they got a great organization. My buddy Scott and his mom Luana want to make a difference and do what they could with what they had, and they got a connection to wounded warriors that can go around and speak to the public and educate the public on what it's like to hear their stories, because I'm just one small story of what's out there, all those lives. They're a nonprofit called Tempered Steel. Because the one thing inside steel that goes through fire comes out stronger is a soldier. And I'd like to now bring up Luana Schnieder and her son Scott Stephenson with Tempered Steel. They'll tell you a little bit about that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tempered Steel. Tempered Steel is an organization that sends out our wounded military members from Iraq and Afghanistan to talk to schools, community groups, organizations, and corporations around the country, telling their stories of injury and recovery. We have 33 speakers nationwide and are always looking for more. Our goal is to have one in every state that wants to go out and tell their story. We feel by sending our military members out there, our injured soldiers, that we are helping them reintegrate back into society. We are educating the public on how to address what can be our most severely injured soldiers. We are a donation-funded organization. I don't want my speakers, I don't want my speakers spending a dime out of pocket. And as I said, they do travel nationwide. This organization was started by my son, retired Army Sergeant Scott Stephenson, and I, who was injured in Iraq on November 25th, 2006. And Bobby and Scott are pretty great friends, and we've met a lot of amazing people due to Scott's injuries. And to kind of tell you a little bit about where the name and everything comes from and what it means to be a Tempered Steel speaker, I'd like you to hear from Scott. Thank you.
I'm retired Army Sergeant Scott Stephenson. We started this organization because of some of the looks and stares that some of us were getting from people around our community. So in an effort for me to either put up my griping or do something about it, we got out there and started what we do now. The name Tempered Steel comes from, as Bobby kind of alluded to, soldiers are the only thing that can go through fire and come out stronger, just like Tempered Steel. As well, me and my squad leader, when we were injured, had bracelets made up that I am wearing that say, "Forever my brother forged in the fires of hell," because that's what we were going through. Was the toughest thing that I can ever imagine. And we came out stronger on the other side. Doing this is not only a blast to stand up here and talk to people. I love doing it. I like to talk, just like Bobby. And but not only is that, it's healing. It's good for us to get out there and put our faces out there and our stories out there and let y'all know what we've been through, and it makes you more receptive to us in the public light. Good.
We like to open it up for some question and answers. And before we do that, there's a young lady that came up to me from Fremont. Can you come up here, please, ma'am? A full of names. She brought her sons out to hear me on the radio this morning. And although this would make a really great night show for me, I would love to do this. Thank you.
We also have brochures up here. If anybody's interested in the organization, please come up and get a brochure.
Are these mics for
Yeah.
Q&A?
Who has a question? Mayor, a question?
Those are the mics. Me, Scott, Luana. Is that like 12 ums?
I think Scott has more. Yeah, that's
Hey Bobby, my name's Tom. How do you feel the military does with treating wounded veterans like yourself? What was your situation like? Do you feel like more can be done? What kind of support do you get from guys in your platoon, things like that?
Very, very good question. If anybody didn't hear him, he was asking how we get treated these days, medicals. I know in the beginning, it's a question, a good question, a lot of people ask that. Because in the beginning we saw how Walter Reed got overwhelmed with everything. We didn't expect that many casualties. The military has stepped up. They took in really good care of us. Any surgery they need, if I don't like a little mole on my face, they'll take me in and fix it. They'll give me new hands. I have a drawer full of hands at home. We all do that cool stuff. But anything we want, it really has. They really have stepped up and helped us get any surgery we need. The support for the military, the support from local communities. There's so many organizations out there that really, truly help us get back out in society and be back out there doing what we love to do, whether it's athletics, speaking, need help with, like Operation Homefront helps with soldiers having trouble paying some bills and they're deployed or wounded. They help their families out while they're gone. There's so many organizations that stepped up because of this war to help us. So to answer that, yes, we were treated wonderfully. I know Scott feels on that one, but they could work on his face a little more. They're like, it's always. Your question up front? Give me a hand.
Hi, how do you think that, or how do you feel like the community and the veterans treat your PTSD, and do you experience a lot of that?
With PTSD, technically 60% of disability is PTSD. It's one thing, they're trying to treat it. You know, it's one thing we get that along with traumatic brain injury or a lot of stuff you can't see now. If Scotty and I flip out, you're going to go, okay, look at that guy, we see why. When you see these guys have done many tours, and I'd like to see more help for them. There is the help for them mentally to get it, but I'd like to see more help. Like, I want to see a house built for somebody that's dealing with that. Instead of obvious, I want to see them, they'll do 4 tours, they'll get out and they look fine, but they can't hold down the job because of their issues. And we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of that with this war ending. A lot of those guys are coming home, we got to be here to catch them. And I know we're going to do that. We've been ready, we've been prepared for it. And I know a lot of others will step up, just like you guys did in Vietnam. We're going to step up. The community's been stepping up. And I think we're going to handle that now. I am a little worried about it. But I think it's not that the system's not there. It's those guys asking for help. That's the hard part. They screen us. They try to ask the questions, but we know what to say to get away from them. They sure find out. So I think it's going to be good, but we got to step up and recognize that.
I'm going to take over here and throw some numbers out there. We have had over 50,000 medically evacuated from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Not all of those are combat injured, but out of those, over 16,500 are considered severely injured. and over 5,000 are catastrophically injured. That means they fall into 3 or more out of 5 categories: burns, amputations, spinal cord injuries, TBI, and post-traumatic stress disorder. The VA estimates coming back that there is going to be well over 200,000 with undiagnosed cases of TBI and post-traumatic stress disorder. Scott can tell you, we ended up sending him to a private PTSD-funded clinic in California to deal with his for 6 months. But it was better because the majority of our military members, our wounded veterans, do not want to go back into a hospital situation again. And the majority of them also